zest for demonization is particularly unique. Ron DeSantis. His willingness to scapegoat vulnerable communities.
He's got huge problems in his state. I mean, like, huge problems in his state. We all know that. I mean, you see it in San Francisco, you see it in LA, you see it in the people fleeing.
Welcome back. California Governor Gavin Newsom, a Democrat, and Florida's Republican Governor Ron DeSantis have long been in a war of words as they battle across the television screen. But tonight, this evening, the two governors will square off in a debate in Alpharetta, Georgia. CBS News political reporter Aaron Navarro, who's extensively covered the DeSantis campaign, joins us now. Aaron, you've been talking to voters. Tell us what you're hearing.
Yeah, that's right. Earlier today, before the debate, the DeSantis campaign actually hosted some Floridians that had recently moved from California. This is kind of the crux of Governor DeSantis' argument against Newsom, that people are, quote, voting with their feet by moving from California to Florida. I attended this press conference. Take a listen to what some of these residents had to say.
What's happening in California and in San Diego has just become untenable. The homelessness, the vagrancy, the crime. In good areas, you couldn't leave your house.
When Noah and I got out of the Army, we decided that, okay, we really sat there and thought, can we really start a family like we wanted to in San Diego? And unfortunately, we had to choose, living.
The homelessness, the mental issues of not being able to stand in front of a store waiting for it to open, I was afraid.
And it's notable where this debate is happening, right? In the battleground state of Georgia, there were several states during this process that were floated, and they chose here in Georgia, a battleground state that Democrats have been seeing some success recently, but someone like DeSantis is hoping to flip if he gets that far in 24.
What does this mean for the DeSantis campaign to have this kind of debate against someone who's not running but is high profile?
Yeah, it's a way to kind of get his name out there. DeSantis, as you know, Bob, has really been in Iowa. That's where he's put all his eggs in that basket. His national profile, he's pretty well known, but this is a moment for him to get on that stage. It is a bit risky for him. You know, Newsom has had a rapport with Hannity. DeSantis has had some troubles in the past with one-on-one debates, but DeSantis' team is feeling confident. When I was talking to them earlier today, they have Brett O'Donnell, their longtime GOP strategist that's been helping them with Republican debates, helping with this one as well. They're confident that because it's such a contrast in approaches and records between DeSantis and Newsom, that he can really lean into that, and especially with Hannity and Fox News, a more conservative audience, maybe win this debate.
And what about Governor Newsom of California? He is touted as someone who's likely to run for president someday. What are the stakes for him as he enters the arena tonight?
Well, it's much lower than DeSantis's, but it is notable when this whole debate started in September of 2022 when Newsom publicly challenged DeSantis to a debate. Now, at that time, think politically, it was more of an open question on whether Biden would run. DeSantis had a bit more political clout maybe as the future of the Republican Party than we've seen his campaign go. So now Newsom's team is kind of surprised that this is still happening and have been a bit quieter in terms of promoting this debate compared to DeSantis's camp.
Aaron Navarro on the ground for us, reporting for CBS News. Thank you. And Governor Ron DeSantis' campaign manager, James Uthmeier, joins us now. James, really appreciate you taking a few minutes. So what are the stakes here for the governor, not just with tonight's debate, but this moment in the campaign?
Listen, tonight is not a battle of Florida versus California. The governor has already won that fight. People, they made that decision. They voted with their feet. About 1 million people leaving California, many of them coming to Florida. So for tonight, this is about a vision for the future of America. It is about Ron DeSantis' vision versus that of Gavin Newsom and Joe Biden. And Ron DeSantis has proven with his results in Florida that the Florida model is the blueprint that our country should follow, not California's that emphasizes open borders, that has not backed the blue, that has led to serious crime problems, people getting mugged on the sidewalks. Florida, that is the model for the future of this country, and Ron DeSantis will make that very clear tonight.
James, Governor Newsom was on America Decides in September, and he was asked why he wanted to participate in the debate. Let's listen to his response.
I particularly don't. I just think it's extraordinary that he does. He's running for president of the United States. I'm not. I think it's a disqualifier for him. I'm actually quite embarrassed that he wants to do that. He put out an ad today.
James, what's your response as campaign manager to Governor Newsom's idea that Governor DeSantis should almost be embarrassed for wanting to have this debate? Take us behind the decision to participate.
Ron DeSantis is willing to step up to any fight. He will take anybody on because he stands for truth and he has the results that show he's a proven leader. The only difference, other than ideology between Ron DeSantis and Gavin Newsom is that Ron DeSantis has actually declared a candidate for presidency, while Gavin Newsom is more of a shadow candidate, traveling the world and hoping that something might happen where he gets called up to the majors. But Ron DeSantis, he's willing to stand by his policies. Gavin Newsom said he wanted a debate. Ron DeSantis said, I'll take anybody on anytime, any place. When you stand for what's right and you have results and you have the people of a state enjoying a #1 state economy, flocking to freedom and prosperity over chaos, crime, and decline. I mean, California has to have a map to show you where all the feces locations are in that state so people can walk on other roads and not step in, crap. That's what Ron DeSantis, he's willing to stand up for what's true and fight. He's a fighter, he's a winner, and he is a leader.
James, of course, the audience, Republican voters across the country watching this closely, but perhaps also some Wall Street financiers, Republican donors. Some of them, as you know, have been going toward former Ambassador Nikki Haley in recent weeks. Have you been encouraging the financial crowd of the GOP to pay attention to tonight's debate and to maybe make sure they're listening to Governor DeSantis when it comes to making that final decision on where they're going to put their money in support?
Sure. Well, Ron DeSantis is focused more on grassroots support. We had a record-breaking, over $15 million raised last quarter. The establishment class, they don't always like the grassroots candidate. An establishment class that believes in jailbreak bills and open borders, they're going to go for a candidate like Nikki Haley, who's recently stated that she was inspired to run by Hillary Clinton. She is not a true conservative. Her record depicts that. She tried to prevent a bathroom bill that would protect women in the bathroom from getting passed. She is not a true conservative. And the establishment, their class cannot win.
That has been fact-checked by others about how Nikki Haley was not saying she was inspired by the political ideology of Clinton, but we'll leave that there. James Uthmeier, thank you for taking the time.
Thank you.